Welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Maryland Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. I got C3's ad right here. They help us make these videos possible, so we want to go ahead and give them another shout out and thank you for all their hard work. So for today, we've already got storms ongoing right now, and we're probably going to switch to live coverage mode here in a little bit back with Derek, but Chicago, there is a storm moving your way. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And then we've got more storms expected tonight through the same area and then spreading all the way down through the southern Mississippi Valley and even parts of East Texas could see storms. So yes, I can tell you guys about the hailstorm in Davenport here in a second. And we're going to get into everything that just happened actually, so stay tuned. But then we've got tornadoes coming up possibly tonight. All risks are on the table, guys. So today's a day where if you're in the Mississippi Valley from the lower part to the upper part, you really want to be paying attention to your weather. So we're going to get into yesterday, and then I'll tell you guys about Davenport. But yesterday we did have a little bit of hail that popped up through the area between Dallas and San Antonio, kind of like we talked about. Had up to 2-inch hail with that storm. I think we got purple swath out of this, so some big stones, but they only lasted for a little bit. And then we got the remnants of that system through the southern parts of the southeast and Florida that passed through with a couple of severe wind reports, some severe hail as well, and a tornado. So some scattered activity into yesterday. For today, yes, we did have a storm that passed through Davenport a little bit ago. It was this cell, as it tracked through the city, dropped up to 3-inch hail was reported, and it's continuing and has not slowed down any and is now making its way towards the Chicago metro with some large hail as well. 2.5 inches were reported as it crossed over the 39 area, and it's still going with golf balls per the last updates. So we've still got some severe hail in the mix from that earlier Davenport storm this morning. We're not slowing down. We're expected to see more cells popping up soon and then, continuing to spread down through Missouri, through Arkansas, and even into parts of East Texas into tonight. We've got a little cloud cover over the area right now. However, once this cap breaks, we're going to see all heck break loose with a line of storms that forms late tonight. So while things are already going early today, take that away if you guys are, again, in the central and especially the northern, well, just the whole Mississippi Valley, honestly. A lot of this is going to be going on after dark, so pay attention to your weather. There's the cold front passing through. 28 degrees in Denver, 82 in Kansas City. So a very sharp little cold front making its way through the area right now, getting ready to push out ahead and moving into the same area with a dry line, and we're going to see some storms blowing up here in the next few hours. There's this trough that's causing it. Digging down deep into the desert southwest. Cold front out ahead, got a dry line with it, classic severe mode setup with this storm system. It's going to start to deepen and intensify tonight. That's when we'll start to see storms really blowing up. And then passing through the Ohio Valley into tomorrow, where we'll continue to see a potential for storms through the area. So there's our cold front tracker with this system. Again, it's already making its way through Nebraska, going to continue out that way by around 5 p.m. This is when storms are are expected to initiate through the central parts of Mississippi Valley, so Iowa into northern Missouri. As those track off to the east, we're going to see this cold front kind of tilt and swing off with it, and then we're going to see that cap break and storms form all along the cold front into late tonight before things continue for Wednesday afternoon and evening. So got another long 48 hours ahead of us here at Hail Trace and in the Mississippi Valley. So there's a dry line by 5 p.m. We're going to have the cold front making its way through, intersecting with that dry line, got storms initiating along with that. Again, through central Iowa is where things are going to start up. Then we'll see it driving down through the south along with that dry line by into late tonight through Wednesday, and then storms shifting through the Ohio Valley. So that's kind of our general setup with the overall system. And then looking into how those factors play into potentially producing tornadoes into today and tonight. This is what we got by 5 p.m. for our significant tornado parameter. Got it almost maxing out here. If you guys are in between Des Moines and the Fort Wayne area, you got a pretty solid chance to have at least environmental conditions favorable for tornadoes. Now, in central Iowa is where we're going to start to see supercells developing. So the tornado threat through that area is much higher. We don't have as much development out east quite yet by 5. Now, over the next coming hours, there we are by 11 p.m. when the southern part of that line starts to go up, and again, maxing out on that significant tornado parameter. So again, the potential for seeing rotation with these storms, seeing the potential to produce supercells or embedded tornadoes along a line is there with the southern part of this band that's going to form later. Then it finally starts to fizzle out as it tracks off to the east, so that's some good news for you guys if you're in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. But we've got today to work through. Southern part of our risk area is going to have to overcome the cap before anything really significant can happen. There will be some storms developing that are going to be a little bit more elevated through Arkansas and Missouri tonight by around 9 p.m. There goes a couple in central Missouri as well as just in the Fayetteville area. Then we start to see that line forming behind the cap. There it goes, starting to spread down to the southeast, and we could get some angry storms by Wednesday morning forming along that line just as far south as probably just east of Dallas. So if you guys are watching from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's looking like this is probably going to stay mostly to the east of you guys, but there is still a shot that it could potentially form a little bit further to the west, and that's when you could get a severe weather threat. But either way, it's going to form down through East Texas, shifting off to the east by Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll have another day of severe weather to talk to you guys about. But there goes those cells by 5, 6 p.m., starting to form those isolated supercells, and even on our forecast radar, you're seeing that hook shape on those. So that is not good news if you're, thinking about tornadoes into tonight. Possible to see those producing large hail as well as potential tornadoes as they stay singular. Then as they continue to track up to the northeast, still got a couple that have the potential to be tornadic, but now we're starting to see more lines form, so we're getting into the all risks possible type of area here as those head up towards Milwaukee, towards Madison, across the Davenport, Iowa area, and start spreading through central Missouri with more of a large hail and tornado threat as well. St. Louis, it's possible you could be seeing impacts from this by around 3 in the morning. Again, late overnight, got a couple of rounds possible, and then things moving into, again, the Ohio Valley for tomorrow. But all that is going to play into today's hail forecast, spreading all the way from Michigan down into East Texas. So if you guys are on the southern end of that risk area, lower end chance if you're pretty much south of Dallas or Shreveport. It's looking like the cap may hang on a little bit, and it's going to take a long time for those storms to be able to develop. But with any isolated cells that you get really in the eastern Oklahoma and East Texas area, that's where we have our best chance to see large hail with that line. Fort Smith, got a moderate chance for you. Higher end chance once we get up towards Springfield and central Missouri. That's again where you're getting isolated supercells tracking through initially, and then you got impacts from that line moving through after. So we got a couple of rounds of storms, a couple of chances for large hail. Kansas City and St. Louis, moderate chance for you as those storms form off to your west and then make their way east into the city. But really the bulk of our risk is where it has already seen storms today: Davenport, Iowa, Des Moines, and Chicago. You guys are likely, Chicago, your high risk is for right now with that cell passing into the area, but for Davenport and Des Moines, looks like we have more storms that are likely going to form, like we saw on our future radar, later into this evening, 5 to 6 p.m., and really kind of wreak havoc through the area with that large hail threat. Then once you get all the way up to La Crosse, lowering in our chances, it's pretty cold up there, going to be hard to overcome all of that cold air and produce hail, but you still could see some quarters to $50 anywhere north of pretty much La Crosse. And Milwaukee, kind of watching you guys as well with any cells that form in Iowa and then track their way north and east into Wisconsin. You could potentially get some supercell activity with that, so moderate chance for you guys as well. Then for wind, I guess we're going into our city forecast first. So for Davenport, storm timeline is from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's a long timeline, but we've got a couple of rounds of storms moving through. So we have that first that's going to start with those isolated cells, and then we're going to have a line moving through past it. So you got a couple of chances to see severe weather, and so that's where the timeline comes from. But with those initial cells, could see more baseballs. I mean, it's already happened. You got 3-inch hail, so possible to see more of that with this next round that's coming through. Chance of 1-inch hail is pretty high. You got a lot of supercell activity that's popping up through your area on the forecast models. So likely to see some severe hail into tonight. And if any supercells do form over the city, could be some pretty large hail. Then for Chicago, again, this is like right now, and then again, a long storm timeline, and that's just from the end of that band making its way through your area. But you got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 3 p.m. with this storm passing through. So your max hail size looking like golf balls, that's what that cell has a history of doing, and it's got a pretty good chance of making it at least into the outer edge of the Chicago suburbs. So moderate chance of 1-inch hail making its way all the way through. And then low chance of it doing anything huge. Hasn't really been making it up towards the like baseball range or whatever. And so you're probably not going to see it doing any huge hail, but as it passes that way, potential to see again up to golf balls. So now into wind, we have from Michigan still all the way down into East Texas, with the best chance being this hatched area to see severe winds today. We already saw 90-mile-an-hour winds, but that was from the Davenport supercell, one cell, and you know it really kind of ramped up and got going. So we've seen severe winds today, and with any more supercells that develop, so Des Moines, Davenport, you guys have a good chance of, again, seeing some pretty impactful winds with those or with that line passing through. And the rest of these moderate cities are also going to be moderate because of the line that's moving through late tonight. So probably not going to reach Indianapolis with super strong winds. It's going to be kind of fizzling out before it gets there, but low-end chance for Minneapolis. And then Little Rock, Shreveport, Dallas-Fort Worth, you guys also have a chance. And it's going to probably be after 10 or 11 p.m. that line starts to make its way through, and that's when that wind threat will pick up. Then last but not least, for tornadoes. Best chance is going to be in a couple of areas, so very similar to Friday where we saw that northern risk and that southern risk at the highest chance of seeing tornadoes. So if you guys are in Dallas-Fort Worth, again, we talked about it a little bit, but it's looking like it might stay mostly to your east, but if it does shift west, you'll have a tornado risk, so that's where that low end comes from. Then for Little Rock and Springfield, the line looks like it's going to form kind of right here, ramp up once it moves over Fort Smith, and then kind of start petering out a little bit more once it gets to Little Rock. So moderate for Springfield, Little Rock, high end for Fort Smith where that hatched area is. And then St. Louis, Kansas City, kind of a similar story. Des Moines and Davenport, the models, again, they're showing those isolated supercells, so got to put you guys in a high for tonight and this evening with those storms passing through. So that's what we have for you guys into today for the rest of the area with tornado threats. If you guys are in, again, Kansas City or St. Louis, you got that moderate with that line getting ready to track through, as well as some elevated storms, but those are not likely to really produce any tornadoes right off the bat. Milwaukee, again, we talked about you a little bit earlier, but with any of those storms that form through Davenport and Des Moines and then track their way up to the northeast, it's possible we could get some supercell storms producing large hail as well as tornadoes through Milwaukee. So moderate to high for you guys, low end for Dallas, and then high for Davenport and Des Moines. So if you guys are in the Mississippi Valley today, it's one to pay attention to. Definitely want to turn on your hail trace alerts, turn on your weather alerts on your phone. Make sure you guys got those if you're going to sleep. It's going to be a late night with these storms. So turn on that ringer. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And if you guys want to get in contact with us, you can scan that QR code up above me or click the link in our description to get a demo of our products. We map all these storms live, hail, wind, and tornado. What time is Springfield's hail threat? It's going to be a little bit of an isolated cell threat passing through into this evening, and then late tonight is when you'll get that line passing through, and so you could get some hail, but mostly like tornadoes and strong wind is the threat with that line, so for what that's worth. So now if you want to get in contact with us, like I said, we map these products live. We map hail, wind, tornado, hurricane when it's hurricane season. So if you guys want to see what's happening with your severe weather, go ahead and click that link in the description. And then you can also call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out hailtrace.com for more details. Stay weather aware tonight. Stay safe, guys. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.